There comes a moment in life when you realize something devastating and liberating at the same time. No one is coming to save you. And that realization might just be the most powerful awakening you'll ever experience. The industrial giant John D. Rockefeller understood this brutal truth better than anyone else, and it transformed him from a simple bookkeeper into one of history's most influential figures. If that phrase just stirred something deep inside you, hit that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving into truths that transform lives, even when they hurt to hear. For years, maybe decades, you've been waiting for someone to notice your potential, waiting for that perfect opportunity to knock on your door, waiting for a mentor to appear and guide you toward success, waiting for some divine intervention to fix everything that feels broken in your life. But what if I told you that this waiting is the very thing keeping you trapped in mediocrity? John D. Rockefeller built Standard Oil from nothing, becoming the wealthiest person in modern history. But his greatest discovery wasn't oil. It was the realization that self-reliance isn't just a virtue, it's the foundation of all genuine power. When you truly understand that you are fundamentally alone in this journey, you discover the strength you always possessed, but never dared to use. Let me take you through the 4 stages of this transformation. The same pattern Rockefeller observed in his own life and in every successful person he encountered. The first stage is what I call the illusion of rescue. From childhood, we're programmed to believe in saviors. Our parents protect us, teachers guide us, and society promises that if we just follow the rules and work hard, someone will eventually recognize our worth and reward us accordingly. This belief system creates a dangerous dependency. You start your career expecting your boss to notice your dedication and promote you. You wait for that colleague to recommend you for the big project. You hope that investor will see the potential in your idea. You convince yourself that success is just around the corner, that someone with power will soon discover your talents and elevate you to where you deserve to be. This mindset is seductive because it removes the burden of responsibility from your shoulders. If success depends on others recognizing you, then failure isn't really your fault. You can blame the system, bad luck, or people who don't understand your value. But here's the harsh reality Rockefeller discovered. While you're waiting for rescue, life keeps moving forward without you. Every day you spend hoping someone else will change your circumstances is a day you're not changing them yourself. The promotion you're waiting for goes to someone who didn't wait for permission to act like a leader. The opportunity you hoped would find you gets seized by someone who went out and created their own opportunities. The recognition you crave flows to those who stopped seeking validation and started validating themselves through results. Rockefeller saw this pattern everywhere. The most successful people he knew had one thing in common. They had abandoned the illusion of rescue early in their lives. They understood that waiting for someone else to save you is like waiting for rain in the desert. It might happen, but you'll die of thirst long before it does. The second stage is the painful awakening. This is when reality hits you like a freight train. Maybe you've been passed over for promotion again. Maybe your business idea was rejected by the 10th investor. Maybe you realize you've been waiting for years for someone to give you permission to pursue your dreams. And that permission is never coming. This moment is devastating. It's the death of every comfortable illusion you've held about how the world works. You feel abandoned, overlooked, and forgotten. There's a profound loneliness in recognizing that no one is coming to rescue you from your circumstances. No mentor will appear to unlock your potential. No opportunity will fall into your lap. No one will hand you the life you want on a silver platter. But in this darkness, something remarkable begins to happen. When you realize that no external force is going to save you, you're forced to confront the only person who can, yourself. This is terrifying because it means taking full responsibility for your current situation and your future success. There's nowhere to hide, no one else to blame, and no safety net to catch you if you fall. Rockefeller described this moment as the most crucial turning point in any person's life. He said it's when you discover whether you have what it takes to build something meaningful, or whether you'll spend the rest of your life as a victim of circumstances. The awakening is painful because it strips away all your excuses and forces you to face the truth about your own power and responsibility. Many people never move beyond this stage. They get stuck in the pain of abandonment and never realize that being abandoned by others is actually the greatest gift they could receive. Because when you truly understand that you're on your own, you stop looking outward for solutions and start looking inward for strength. The third stage is discovering the hidden strength that Rockefeller built his empire upon. When you accept that you're alone in this journey, something extraordinary happens. You stop wasting energy on things outside your control and start focusing entirely on what you can influence. You stop asking permission and start taking action. You stop seeking validation and start creating value. Rockefeller believed that most people never tap into their real power because they're too dependent on others. They need approval before they act, reassurance before they take risks, and guarantees before they commit. But true power comes from the willingness to act without any of these securities. It comes from the understanding that you have everything you need within yourself to create the life you want. This doesn't mean you become isolated or reject all help from others. It means you become self-reliant at your core. You welcome assistance when it comes, but you don't depend on it. You value advice, but you make your own decisions. You appreciate support, but you don't require it to move forward. When you operate from this place of self-reliance, people start to notice something different about you. You carry yourself differently because you're not constantly seeking approval. You make decisions faster because you're not waiting for consensus. You take bigger risks because you trust your own judgment. You persist longer because your motivation comes from within, rather than from external validation. This is the strength that built Standard Oil. Rockefeller didn't wait for the oil industry to invite him in. He saw an opportunity and seized it. He didn't ask permission to innovate. He created new ways of doing business that others had to adapt to. He didn't seek validation for his strategies. He let his results speak for themselves. The fourth and final stage is the irreversible transformation. Once you've tasted the power of true self-reliance, you can never go back to depending on others for your success. This transformation changes everything about how you approach life, work, and relationships. You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. Instead of hoping someone will offer you a better job, you develop skills that make you indispensable or start your own company. Instead of waiting for someone to believe in your idea, you build a prototype and prove its value. Instead of hoping for recognition, you focus on results that speak for themselves. You stop making excuses and start making progress. When obstacles appear, you don't waste time complaining about them or waiting for someone else to remove them. You find ways around them, through them, or over them. When you fail, you don't look for someone to blame. You analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and try again with better strategy. You stop asking why me and start asking what now. This shift in questioning changes everything. Instead of dwelling on problems, you focus on solutions. Instead of feeling victimized by circumstances, you look for ways to turn them to your advantage. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you make the current moment work for you. Rockefeller observed that this transformation is irreversible because once you experience the power of self-reliance, dependence becomes unbearable. You can't go back to waiting for others to determine your fate when you know you have the power to shape it yourself. You can't return to seeking permission when you've tasted the freedom of autonomous action. This transformation also changes how others see you. When you stop needing rescue, you become someone others look to for strength. When you stop depending on validation, you become someone whose opinion matters. When you stop waiting for opportunities, you become someone who creates them not just for yourself, but for others as well. The world responds differently to someone who takes complete responsibility for their own life. Doors that seemed permanently closed begin to open. People who never noticed you before start paying attention. Opportunities that felt impossible suddenly become achievable. This isn't magic or luck. It's the natural result of operating from a position of strength rather than weakness. But this transformation requires something that many people aren't willing to give: the complete abandonment of victim mentality. You have to stop believing that your circumstances are someone else's fault. You have to stop waiting for someone else to fix what's broken in your life. You have to stop hoping that external forces will align to make your dreams come true. This is difficult because victim mentality provides a strange comfort. It absolves you of responsibility and gives you someone to blame when things don't go as planned. But it also keeps you powerless and dependent on forces outside your control. Rockefeller understood that you can't have both comfort and power. You have to choose. The choice to abandon victim mentality and embrace complete self-reliance isn't just about achieving external success. It's about reclaiming your fundamental power as a human being. It's about recognizing that you were born with everything you need to create a meaningful life, and that waiting for someone else to activate that potential is the greatest waste of your existence. When you make this choice, you join a rare group of individuals who shape the world rather than being shaped by it. You become someone who creates value rather than just consuming it. You become someone who solves problems rather than just complaining about them. You become someone who takes action rather than just talking about it. This is why Rockefeller said that realizing no one will save you is the best thing that can happen to you. It forces you to discover strengths you never knew you had. It pushes you to develop capabilities you never thought you needed. It compels you to take actions you never thought you could take. The moment you truly internalize this truth, everything changes. You stop looking for someone to open doors and start breaking down walls. You stop hoping for someone to believe in you and start proving your worth through actions. You stop waiting for someone to give you a chance and start creating your own opportunities. This doesn't mean the journey becomes easy. Self-reliance doesn't eliminate challenges or guarantee success. What it does is put you in the driver's seat of your own life. It ensures that your future is determined by your choices and actions rather than by the whims of others or the randomness of circumstance. Rockefeller faced countless obstacles on his path to success. He dealt with fierce competition, government regulations, economic downturns, and public criticism. But none of these external forces could stop him because his power came from within. He didn't need favorable conditions to succeed. He created favorable conditions through his own efforts. This is the ultimate freedom. The knowledge that your success or failure rests entirely in your own hands. It's terrifying and liberating at the same time. Terrifying because there's no one to blame if things go wrong. Liberating because there's no limit to what you can achieve when you stop waiting for permission and start taking action. The people who achieve extraordinary things in life all share this common understanding. They know that no one is coming to save them, and they wouldn't want it any other way. They've discovered that the power to create their ideal life was inside them all along, waiting to be activated by the simple decision to stop depending on others and start depending on themselves. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop looking for someone else to change your circumstances. Look in the mirror and recognize the only person who has the power to transform your life. Embrace the reality that you are alone in this journey, and let that reality awaken the strength that's been dormant within you. Maybe today you feel like no one will save you, and maybe that's exactly what you needed to realize. Because the moment you stop waiting for rescue is the moment your real life begins. The moment you take complete responsibility for your circumstances is the moment you gain complete power over them. The moment you realize you're on your own is the moment you discover you're capable of more than you ever imagined. If this message resonated with you, if it stirred something deep inside that you've been trying to ignore, then leave a comment saying, "I take my own path." Like this video if you're ready to stop waiting and start acting. Share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is help them realize that no one is coming to save them. And that's the most beautiful truth they'll ever discover. The transformation starts now. The power was always yours. The only question is whether you're finally ready to use it.